Heads up, if you have kids around, parental advisory is in effect.
Parental advisory is in effect.
This is the Bonus Bone Podcast with Lamont and Tonelli, Baby Huey, and Chasta.
Welcome back to the Bonus Bone Podcast. Chasta.
Oh, wow. 3 of them.
He's very excited today. Chasta, Lamont, Tonelli, and Baby Huey on an excruciating episode of the Bonus Bone Podcast.
It wasn't that tough for me. It wasn't. You know what? I can't say that because it was tough after I made my list. Now, first off, tell what we're doing.
Yeah, and I actually have to give a shout out to a listener, Greg Mingus, I believe is how you say it, from Fremont. Also goes by Ironhead. So shout out to you, Ironhead.
Way to go, Ironhead.
Right.
He is the one that contacted us and challenged us, I haven't been drinking today, to do our top 10 favorite songs of all time list, which is something I have notoriously said I would never do.
Right.
We've done albums and we've done singers and stuff.
But
this
individual
is
songs.
I mean, I was in pain all weekend trying to get
this tortured you.
Tortured. Still does. I still look at my list and I'm like, gah. So there's no rules necessarily, except you have to have 10.
Okay.
10 and only 10, not 11, not 12.
Lamont put his in order from 1 to 10.
I couldn't do that.
I put mine in the top order. Now, I will say this, though. After I made my list, it was basically done within 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
However, then I was driving home going, oh, that's a fucking good song. Maybe I should bump this song. And over the last 4 or 5 days, I'm just like, God, I should put that song on the list, but then what song do you bump?
That's what I've been going through all weekend.
Right.
I mean, Jay and I on Saturday went back and forth with our list. I mean, we were crying, we were laughing, we were dancing in the kitchen. It was a whole thing. It actually was really awesome. All right, so then why don't you start?
All right, so I'm going to start off at the bottom of my list, okay?
Okay.
And then we can work our way up because I have mine in numerical
So this
order.
one barely squeezed onto the top 10.
Well, no, that's not true because I could have put this. I love this band.
Okay.
And I only put one song on from each band, so I get a nice little variation. Because there were bands I could have put 2-3 songs on,
me too.
but it would have chewed. There's one band I could have used all 10 songs. You know what that song band is? AC/DC.
Yes.
Of course.
But I only picked one song. So my number 10 song on the list was Black Sabbath. I fucking love Black Sabbath. I grew up on Black Sabbath. Hole in the Sky. God, I love that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great
that's not really when people think of Black Sabbath, they think of Paranoid and Iron Man and other songs.
Sure.
To me, that is the definitive friggin' Aussie Black Sabbath song, Hole in the Sky.
It's very good. Well, I'll go next because I have a Sabbath song.
Okay.
It's not last on my list by any means. This is the song, and I should actually preface this with saying I don't really have a single hit on my list at all.
Okay.
Like, I'm not a hits girl.
I'm a hits person.
I'm a deep track girl, which is your nightmare at shows.
Oh, it is my nightmare.
So I went with Black Sabbath as well, Fluff. That was the song I walked down the aisle to at my wedding.
Wow.
Yes. It is a very, very personal song.
I'm not familiar with Fluff. I'm familiar with Fluffers.
Of course you are. Fluff. It is an instrumental song done by Sabbath. It is absolutely breathtaking. So go take a listen.
What album is that off of?
I believe it's off. Let me look up for sure because they have two or three.
Is that Aussie Black Sabbath?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's early Black Sabbath then?
Yeah, let me just look, though.
All right.
I want to make
Fluff
sure.
from Black Sabbath.
Have you ever heard it? God,
No, I don't
we could
think I've
play
heard it
little
because
clips.
I-
think we get demonetized.
Can we put little clips in here, baby?
Oh my God, the amount of editing.
It's up to Baby Huey.
No, the only
Use your imagination.
it's on Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Okay.
I guess the only thing we could do is like play a clip from our phone for 3 seconds, but I don't even know if we could do that legally
Right,
on a
okay.
podcast. So yeah, go listen to it. Fluff, fantastic song.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
Well, I
let's
did
just go
think of
around
a
them.
Sabbath thong,
Thong?
but I
he's
didn't
wearing
make my
a thong?
list. And that was
Wait. It didn't make your list, but I'm just curious. What would it have been?
Changes,
Okay.
you
but
didn't
not
put it
Black
on.
Sabbath. No, Charles Bradley, blues singer, does an incredible version of it.
Yes, he does.
But
Yes.
But is that on your list?
it didn't make the cut.
Oh, jeez.
But
what's
I
at
just
the
thought
bottom
I'd
of your
stay
list?
in the Black Sabbath theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AC/DC One song by AC/DC made my list, and that is Live Wire.
Oh, great song.
That is a great song.
And I love the vibe of it. I love the driving guitar. Exactly, the middle part there.
This is the best you're going to get with our music today because we can't put music samples in, so I'll do both guitar.
It does that little, right? And then it does the pause and it goes. So, yeah, Live Wire. Go ahead, Baby Huey.
That's a great one.
For me, like Chasta, I'm out of order. No particular order here. So for me, a band that I fell in love with in the mid-2000s, Street Dogs out of Boston, Massachusetts. Their song "You Alone." It's a band featuring Mike McColgan on vocals. He was the original singer of Dropkick Murphys, and I've discovered them at a time when I was going through a lot, and that song really was just uplifting. They're powerful, blue collar, hardworking songs, punk rock, and so when I found them, just fell in love with his voice, but the band itself, just amazing punk rock, and was very lucky to see them many times at Bottom of the Hill, Slims, whenever they toured through the Bay Area. So no, Street Dogs, one of my all-time favorite bands.
You have shocked me because I thought you would have had all 10 songs from Green Day.
I could easily do a top 10 Green Day
well,
list.
like with me and AC/DC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have one Green Day song on your list?
I do, yeah.
Don't tell me what it is.
Okay.
Not yet.
I love that you played Street Dogs, that song for me earlier, and you could see the chills on Huey's arm.
Yeah.
And I will say that was kind of one of the indicators to me, is if I started it and within a few moments I either had tears or chills, I was like, yeah, that's on the list. Because for my list, I don't have any upbeat songs. Like, we got to go through a spiritual moment together on these songs. Like, we got to connect on a real life-changing level.
Right.
I don't have hits and I don't have upbeat songs.
Oh, not me. I like if I love a song, I don't care if but it's got to be a hit.
Yeah,
I fucking love hits.
What's your?
All right. So with that being said, this one I don't know if it's a hit. I think it's more of an album track. And this is a little controversial because it's a linked song. It's you know what when some songs are back to back on an album,
Like Speak to Me, Breathe.
right?
Floyd,
Exactly.
like that,
So this one, the way I'm listing it is one song because that's the way we play it on the air. And it's ZZ Top, Waiting on the Bus, Jesus Just Left Chicago.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
And
good.
the way when that kicks in, dun, 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 Jesus just left Chicago. I mean, to me, that is the ultimate. I'm getting chills just thinking about that. I freaking love early ZZ Top.
I love learning this stuff about us.
Early ZZ Top is fantastic. It's the best ZZ Top.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay. Well, let's stay with the blues moment. So I had to pick a Black Crowes song because Chris Robinson.
That kills me because I almost picked it, but I had such a bad experience with them with our.
Oh,
it wasn't a Black Crowes experience.
No, that was Chris Robinson Brotherhood,
Right.
Which you were not a fan of.
Oh, I'm
well,
just
it's
like
Grateful
what the
Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, go on.
So Black Crowes, I had a really tough time narrowing it down, but I went with Descending by Black Crowes, which is one of my top 3 Crowes songs, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. That was really, really hard, but I love
Hold
his
on. When you say
voice.
top 3 Crowes songs, though, what are your other 2 favorite Crowes songs?
Sometimes Salvation.
Right, a great song.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
But then Thorn in My Pride.
I think I would pick that one. I'll pick that one for you.
Yeah,
instead.
that's more of a hit.
No. Make
But it's got the same vibe, though, too, right? It's got the same vibe on it.
Descending is slower.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And continuing that theme,
Yes.
one of my favorite Creedence songs that is not a popular tune, but Long as I Can See the Light.
Oh,
Oh,
well
God, I should have
done.
picked a Creedence song.
That
Now
is
I'm
a-
pissed off with
I just
myself.
got chills thinking about that.
Great tune because of Fogerty's vocals in that are off the charts.
Oh, that's so
And it's
good.
kind of a bluesy version, too. It's just something different for Creedence.
Yeah.
And it's a song that could have a lot of meaning in for different things,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
God,
Oh,
I'm
that's a
pissed
good
at
one.
myself for not picking CCR.
CCR was
So-
on my down here list. I was
Right?
trying to fight to get him on there.
But
That's
his
a great
vocals in that
one.
tune are incredible.
That's a great one. Huey?
Okay, this song here, I can make the argument I think could be the greatest song of the 90s, Foo Fighters, Everlong.
Yeah.
That one is just for me, growing up, I love Nirvana, and who would have thought Dave Grohl, the drummer of Nirvana, had all these amazing songs that he kept to himself. And then when he did Foo Fighters afterwards, that debut album, my friend Brian and I loved that debut album, the Foo Fighters. Then the second album, Color and Shape, just blew me away with just all the hits on there, Monkey Wrench, all those songs. And so, but yeah, Everlong's probably my favorite on that one.
Original version or acoustic?
Oh, the original,
Okay,
the album version.
Yeah,
But no, just the music video too. It's stuck in my head. The music video with them, Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah.
They're like dating and going through the dream,
Yes.
and just the at the end where the song picks up again and they change costumes. So the music video is also just iconic with me with that song.
That's fantastic. That's
All
a hard
right.
one to argue with.
I'm going with Spoon Man.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Love Soundgarden.
All right.
And I love Spoon Man. And quite honestly, when I was picking it, I thought, geez, I should pick Jay's version that he did on that video. Now, what was the name of that band he was jamming with?
Oh, that was Rusty Chains.
Oh, Rusty
Yeah,
Chains and
yeah.
Jay doing the spoons. I mean, that freaked me out. It was so great. But
Freaked you out.
Spoon Man with Soundgarden, I've got to pick a Soundgarden song.
Okay. Staying with Chris Cornell vibes, I had to pick something with Chris, but I always tend to go to Chris solo. Either that or Temple of the Dog, which is like, this was really hard for me. So it was either Temple of the Dog, Call Me a Dog, which is, oh God, so good. Or Chris did a song for the Great Expectations soundtrack. It's called Sun Shower, and that's the one I chose.
So you're going Sun Shower.
Sun Shower, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Probably the most, I guess, mundane pick I have on my list, although there's a couple of others, but I think at the top of the list for just being, oh, wow, of course, is Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to be so obvious.
Really? You would have picked Stairway to Heaven. That's from 4, by the way.
I know
Paul.
it is. Now, hang on a second.
The album you don't think is as good as
Hang on
2.
a second. It was between that and Heartbreak, Livin' Lovin' Made.
Oh, see, with the linked song. Yeah,
You get a
that's
two
good
for
one.
out.
I
that
wasn't
one,
sure if I could do the Link song or not.
Yeah.
So now that you know you can do a Link song,
Would
is
it
it
change
still
your-
Stairway to Heaven? Or
It is really a toss-up between those two. I mean, Stairway to Heaven has
Iconic.
become kind of, iconic.
Yeah.
And slightly repetitive.
Uh-huh.
But Heartbreak and Livin' Lovin' Made, I loved it because I think it was the first time as a kid when I heard two songs merged together like that. All right, you changed my mind. I'm going to go with Heartbreak, Livin' Lovin' Made.
That's funny. Well, at least with the length of Stairway, you get like 3 songs for one because it's like an 8.5 minute song.
Right, exactly.
Right? So,
And great scene in Wayne's World.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, Huey.
I'm going to go with a song that just reminds me of my brother, Motorhead, Ace of Spades. Just growing up, Motorhead was one of my brother's favorite bands.
Oh, that's a good pick.
And I remember going to the record store. We bought every Motorhead album we could find. And I remember the first time we got to see him live at the Warfield. My brother went crazy. I never got to see my brother go crazy before his show. We forced our way to the front row, seeing Lemmy up close at the Warfield.
Wow.
That was the Inferno tour, but it was just awesome. So much fun. But yeah, just Motorhead in general. I mean, Lemmy's wrote so many songs, but Ace of Spades is their most
I will
iconic.
say this, after hearing that pick, I think your brother has better music taste than you do.
Yeah, no kidding. I think that's pretty obvious.
Absolutely. No, he's the one who introduced me a lot of
But
these bands.
he loves Madonna too, right?
Yeah, he loves Madonna.
Okay, he's off the list
it's
again.
Madonna and Motorhead.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
his list would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I have to pick this song because
Okay.
to me, this band is the greatest American heavy metal band. And that is Rock Candy with Montrose.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That one album, when I heard it, I'm just like, holy fuck, listen to that. And a Bad Motor Scooter and Rock the Nation. That whole friggin' and Make It Last, that whole album was fantastic and brought us Sammy Hagar to the limelight. So Rock Candy, to me, one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah, Sammy's
good one.
vocals on that are incredible.
Do-do.
Yeah. As soon as you hear it, you crank it.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah. All right. So I have had an emotional love affair with this man my whole life since the very first time I heard his voice, Lane Staley. So I couldn't pick an Alice in Chains song because it was just too hard. There's too many. So I went with Mad Season, the supergroup with Lane, and I went with River of Deceit, which is, I mean, if you listen to that song and then what eventually happened to Lane, I know you guys don't give a shit because that's like a really deep cut. But
Not only is it
I
deep
saw
cut,
you roll
I
your
can
eyes.
honestly say I was waiting for you to finish. Go, I've never fucking heard that song.
It's a great song.
You're gonna have to share this with me.
Lane's vocals on that song are incredible, but also the lyrics, like what eventually happened to him and his demise, if you will, is basically written out in that song. It's horrible, heartbreaking, but I love it. Okay, your turn. Yeah.
I'm not that deep on my music.
See, me too. I go for the hits. I'd go Man in the Box.
As long as I can see the light is about as deep as I get.
Yeah.
Great song.
And probably the most pop-like tune on my list that was a huge hit, but still I think just musically a fantastic song is Smooth by Santana.
Oh, yeah.
Great fucking song.
That is a great song.
I mean, as soon as you hear the drums in the beginning, I just always just crank it up.
Yeah, me
Jimbo
too.
would approve of that, I think.
Wait, so who makes the song for you? Rob Thomas or Santana? Who you think out of the two made that song better?
Well, I know that Rob Thomas wrote the lyrics to it.
Okay.
Santana originally did not want to do it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Clive Davis had to talk Santana into making the song. And Santana was like, no, I don't want to do it.
And what a monster
And I
hit.
forget the name of the guy who wrote
That's
the
his
music
biggest
for
song.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying adding Santana made it better?
it. Well, I don't know. I didn't hear it without Santana.
Being it was on a Santana album, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his
That's
guitar.
a leading question.
But Santana, his guitar on that.
Yeah, Santana makes the song.
Yeah, we agree. We've
Yeah.
had this
Yeah,
conversation
thank you.
before.
All right. Thank you, Paul, for confirming it.
Whatever I said or didn't say.
Yes.
On a
You're welcome.
podcast in previous years, we had it out with Bimbo Jimbo about this topic.
It is a fantastic. I just think musically it's a fantastic tune.
Yeah, no, that's a great call.
music-
everything
yeah,
that's involved in that.
Yep.
The guitar part.
Yeah, at the end, the last word in.
I thought it was
Yeah.
the drums, actually, to be honest with you.
That's fine, but not Rob Thomas.
I'm pretty sure Bimbo Jimbo just ripped his AirPod out of his ear.
Ron Thomas is great in that song.
He
He
great.
is.
It's
Yeah.
a great collaboration. Clive Davis knows what he's doing, apparently.
For me, I'm going to go with the Misfits' Last Caress. I remember 8th grade, my brother started high school as a freshman, and so that was the first time we were separated in a long time. He made some new friends, told him he liked punk rock, and one of his buddies there said, check out this band, the Misfits, and he brought it home for us, and we were listening to our parents' our home stereo in the dining room, and I remember he started playing it, and Last Caress was like the first song we heard, and I was mind blown. I thought Green Day was like the only band punk rock that I knew, but after that, Misfits opened my door to so many other legendary punk bands. That was my gateway to all these just bands.
That was your
Black
gateway
Flag.
drug?
It was my gateway to the punk rock, Ramones, all that. But yeah, the Misfits, one of my favorite songs. And then, as we know, Cliff Burton, Metallica was influenced by them. So you realize how influential the Misfits were with so many other bands. So yeah, Last Caress.
That's a great one.
All right, I'm going Motown on this one.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I
there
got a
you go.
Motown pick. All right, fair.
Whoa, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Edwin Starr
Yes.
and War.
But it's got to be that version,
It's
right?
got
the Edwin
to be,
Starr
it
version.
and I know Springsteen did a great
Right.
version of it, but I
But
got
not
to tell
like
you,
Edwin Starr.
Edwin Starr.
That's the defining
It's
version.
absolutely mind-boggling.
That lyric even made it into a Dirty Friday
Yes,
call,
it
which
did.
is one of my favorite Dirty Friday calls.
Right? What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Sing it again.
Say it again.
One of the best. All right, so I will go with Otis Redding. Otis Redding was one of my original loves. He is what started me really in like blues and soul, and I chose, this was a hard one, but I chose Try a Little Tenderness.
Oh,
Okay.
great song.
Yep.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, the last 45 seconds to minute of that song.
You know, what's great about that song is the build. It's the slow burn and the slow build to that ending. Oh, so good.
By
And
the
I
way-
learned about that song from Pretty in Pink when I was like 5 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Three Dog Night did a good version of it, too. Not like Otis Redding's.
Right.
But it's
A good rock
just a
version.
notch below it.
Okay.
Along the same theme of R&B, soul,
Yep.
maybe some gospel. Take Me to the River.
Oh, great
But
song.
not every version. I specifically like the live Talking Heads version from Stop
you know
Making
what?
Sense.
I was going to say I like the studio version of that. But
You
the
like
Talking
live-
Heads version is phenomenal.
Just the live version from Stop Making Sense is just the energy behind that is just incredible.
That's
That's
cool.
a good pick.
And that's
That-
another tune that as soon as I hear it, these are all tunes where I just crank up as soon as I hear them.
I
Right?
can't wait to make a playlist of all of our choices and go through it. And you're going to be forced to
Take
listen
me
to my
to
shit
the
you don't know.
river.
All right, Huey?
I have to go with the Rolling Stones since they were my first concert. So a song that
The
believe
Rolling
you- I can't
Stones
believe
was
you
your first
started-
concert?
yeah, with Pearl Jam opening up.
Oh, my God.
That was amazing.
Hold it. Oh, how old were you?
Was it 97?
What show was it?
At the Bridges of Babylon. Is that the one with the silver
Is that a
lion?
Candle Start?
No, it was at the Oakland Coliseum.
Oh.
Now,
okay.
did you not see any other bands prior to this, like at small bars or anything?
Well, you were young.
I was like,
15?
I was 13.
13.
I think.
Oh, that's when I started going to the bar.
So, 13 or 14 at the time.
Yeah.
So that was the first big concert my parents took.
That's
us
one
to.
hell of a way to start
Right?
your concert
It
experience.
was raining. Pearl Jam came out, killed it. The Rolling Stones came out and were awesome. It's the first time I smelled weed. I thought I asked my dad. I was like, Dad, why does it smell like a skunk? And
that's
he had to
cute.
explain to me. And there
Was your dad going,
Yeah, right. Breathe deep. Don't worry about it.
now he would.
Yeah, of course.
Dad, why does it smell like your bedroom out here?
Now it does.
That's so funny.
But I've got the Rolling Stones under my thumb. That's I asked Tommy, my brother, to confirm that's our mom's favorite Rolling Stone song. But whenever I hear, I do think of her. And I love that song as well. It's a great song from the early years of the band. And I think the way Mick Jagger's talking about a woman, I kind of think of my parents in that situation.
Yeah.
So I love Under My Thumb.
well, I will tell you, I
That's
do have
tough.
a Rolling Stone song on my list, but I'm not going to give it to you yet because I'm only halfway through my list.
Yeah.
Okay. My next song is Gary Rossington influenced this.
Okay.
And he died recently.
Right.
So I was trying to think what my favorite Lynyrd Skynyrd song is because I freaking love Lynyrd Skynyrd. And there's so many songs I could have picked. But it was either Tuesday's Gone or Simple Man. And I've got to go Simple Man. Simple Man is one of the all-time great friggin' songs.
Yeah.
So,
I have something to say about Skinner, but I'm going to save it till the end.
okay. All right.
So I'm going to go because I'm getting pretty close to my top four. I'm going to go with Smashing Pumpkins. This was incredibly hard to choose, but I went with Drown. And I know that sounds weird because Drown was on my playlist when I gave birth to Cody. This is the song I gave birth to.
So it's got sentimental
It's got
reasons.
super sentimental
Right.
value to me. But yeah, that one, that's a song when it comes on, Jay and I are in tears in like less than 3 seconds. So love that one.
Good to know.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Jay and I were crying all weekend putting this together. It's ridiculous.
If I ever want to make them cry, hey, come on over. Hey, listen to this
Oh
song.
every time a song would come on, I'd be like, babe, what about this one? And he'd be like, you're a dick. And then he'd just walk away.
You can't put that much thought into it. You got to go off the top of your head
That's the way I did my
and
list.
commit to it.
Yeah.
And just figure, okay.
Yeah.
And if I do it again, it'll probably be another, and maybe 8 of the songs will be different.
Nah,
can't be
maybe 1 or
casual.
2 would be different for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next one is another live. Well, it doesn't have to be a live version because it's a great song anyway. But I like the energy of his guitar in the live version. Is Southern Man, Neil Young.
Oh, yeah.
I almost picked that one.
Yeah.
That was one of my honorable mentions.
I love the guitar tone in that.
Yeah.
On the Four-Way Street live album, it is 13 minutes long.
Oh.
Wow.
It's just him
Just jamming?
just him thrashing and jamming.
That's
yeah.
great.
Wow.
So you kind of get lost in it. It's a great tune. Yep. It does get a little repetitive. It gets repetitive, but not in a Neil Young sense because he hits different, whatever they are.
I love his, I always think
Notes
his tone
for it,
is
I
like,
have no idea.
He has the I don't give an F tone on
Yeah.
his guitar. Like,
So,
that's
yeah.
what I love about it. You
But
know
that-
what I mean? It's
That's a
just
great
like,
tone.
grrr. Yeah, I just love it.
Well, you get a lot of it in 13 minutes
I
of
bet.
Southern Man on
Good
Four-Way
pick
Street.
on that one, Tanel.
I like the exact choice of that version of that song.
I like Tanel going mostly live cuts on his, I've
Yeah, it's
noticed.
good.
I got one more I'll tell you about in a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go with Trivium, Down from the Sky. Jazz says, Trivium's one of my favorite bands. Growing up, I always loved thrash metal. And I loved all the, Metallica, the Bay Area thrash metal scene, all those bands. But in the 00s to 2000s, 2010s, Trivium came my way and I fell in love with them. I remember when Roadrunner Records came by the station once, gave Joe Rocca one of their albums at the time and told him these going to be the next Metallica. So Joe gave me the album, listened to it, fell in love with them, saw it Mayhem many times. And then sure enough, Chasta, we became friends with them. So whenever I hear Trivium, I fell in love with them as that fresh taste of thrash metal, in the last 15, 20 years. So
I was going to say they're not so new anymore.
exactly.
Right, exactly.
But Down from the Sky is my favorite song of theirs.
That's a great
So
one.
yeah, I love Trivium. So they've always been Like just down from the sky. Check it out if you haven't heard it before.
By the way, I texted Matt over the weekend. I need some advice when we go to Japan.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, can you help me out?
So my next song is a band that you guys know. If I'm telling you, I could have picked all 10 songs from this band. You know, my favorite all-time band is AC/DC.
Yeah.
So all I'm going to tell you is Nanu Nanu.
Oh, yeah.
Night Prowler.
Night Prowler.
Night fucking Prowler.
Yep.
That such a great feel to that song.
That's my favorite AC/DC song. It's not on the top 10, but it definitely, it's such a good one. It's so good. How did you pick, though? It's got to be tough.
I turn up the radio every time I hear AC/DC or the stereo in my car. But I'm just like, man, that Nanu Nanu at the end is the one that does it for me. And I friggin' love Bon Scott.
I love that it has a blues, groove to it. So good. All right. So Pearl Jam, another super uber difficult one, but then kind of not. Because this is a song on my funeral playlist. It is Release by Pearl Jam. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
That one reminds me of, sometime we should do a podcast about favorite lyrics because that would explain why some of these songs are so meaningful.
Well,
if you go, uninterested in my list.
No. I'm thinking to myself, if you go first, I'm going to sit there and go, what the fuck is this song?
Oh yeah, you're not.
Because I have no idea half of your songs that you.
This is why you have to do homework. Now we all have to go listen to each other's songs.
Well, we are going to have to do that, but you see, for me. Mm-hmm. But and they almost made my list with Pearl Jam because I do like some Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
Yellow Ledbetter.
Is
the friggin' greatest song ever from that band.
Yeah, that one.
But now I have to listen to Release. It's on your funeral list?
Oh yeah,
really?
It reminds me of my dad whenever he passed away. So
really?
That's just lyrically I'm talking.
Okay.
Well,
I have the most boring list because no one knows my song.
No, you have very heartfelt.
It's deep.
Music.
They're deep songs.
Right.
So like
shallow songs from Tonelli. No, I'm kidding.
No. I was going to say I too have a song on my list, but it's because of lyrics. It's a Rod Stewart song. Every picture tells a story.
Oh my God, such a
great drums in the tune. His voice is great. But the lyrics, it's about a guy that leaves home, right? And he's like in his late teens, so like when he left home. So the lyric that gets that doesn't get to me, but that I love is and very meaningful, like yours are.
Yeah,
he's leaving the house, and his dad's got words of advice for him. He says, "But remember one thing: don't lose your head to a woman that'll spend your bread."
Very important advice. That is good.
That one line is the reason that song is on my list.
I always thought it was get some head and let her spend your bread.
You changed the lyric. Wrong lyrics in your head. You just made me think of a song that I love that it would be very close on my top 10 is Stay With Me, Faces. I love that song. That's a fantastic song. It also has some naughty lyrics.
Oh, it does.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. The early 70s Rod Stewart was really raw.
Oh, yeah. So good. I love it.
I'm going to go with Rancid's Radio. Rancid growing up just as another Bay Area band.
Lamont's annoyed by your list, too.
I know, yeah. He
just tucks his head down like we have failed him.
I know, different generation.
I know, it is what it is.
No, but in the mid-90s, there's that big punk rock boom in the mainstream. And, of course, Green Day broke through.
I don't know if it's so much a different generation. It's just a complete different genre of music.
Both. I think it's both. In that era, it's... Yeah.
But, Rancid, another legendary Bay Area punk band, and just, when Out Came the Wolves came out, just listening to that album, it was the previous album, but Radio, I just love it. Billy Joe Armstrong helped wrote the song with Tim Armstrong from Rancid, but
that's why it got on the list.
Yeah, it's an amazing song, just Tim Armstrong, just the poetry and the lyrics. I definitely recommend checking it out.
We're going to do a lyric version of this.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Give us a hit, Lamont.
I'm going. This goes way back.
I've lost track, too.
This goes way back to a guy that used to work here at KSAN. Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Good
I
one.
want to take you higher. Baby, 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 let my fire. Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
That song may be the reason I'm in radio right now.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. My brother and I, they used to have this TV show called The House of Frightenstein.
Oh.
And there used to be like a dancing friggin' monster on this that he always started off that segment with, I want to take you higher.
Oh, yeah.
And I had my first tape deck, probably about 6 years of age. My brother was 5. And we used to impersonate the guy, and he'd go, I am the Wolf Man. And they would play that song, and
That
there'd be
is so
people
cute.
dancing to it. We used to pretend, I am the Wolf Man. I've got to find a tape of that somewhere
Oh,
for
that's
you.
funny.
When we were 5 and 6 years of age. And
my
that
God.
that to me might be one of the greatest songs ever recorded.
See, that's cool. The personal
Yeah.
connection to the song.
Right?
Like, I love that.
And
That's
speaking
great.
of live versions, the Woodstock live version is off the charts.
Really?
For that, yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
God, I
I've
feel
only
like I
heard
need
the
a
hit.
whole live playlist.
Right,
now. Like,
exactly.
We could have a whole live playlist. All right, so I had to choose Zeppelin. Again, no surprise, really, really hard for me. I went with Tangerine. That's one of my top locked in 3 favorite songs of all time.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
From
Why is
3,
that?
by the way. Just gets to me. It's vulnerable song. It just
Yeah.
feels like Robert is just pouring his soul into it. And I
So we have 2, 3, and 4 covered here. All right? I'm a 2 fan. You're a 3 fan.
Yeah.
I'm 4.
4.
Yes.
Baby
All
Huey?
right, tiebreaker, or are you going physical graffiti or something else?
Houses of the Holy?
Maybe 2.
Did Rancid cover it?
That would be awesome if they did.
I have a blues song. This is probably one of the deeper cuts on my list. Dwayne Allman, when he was 22 years old, not with the Allman Brothers, but with Boz Scaggs. Boz Scaggs' first album in 69, I think it was.
I love it
blues tune.
already.
Huh?
I love 69.
A tune called Loan Me a Dime.
I don't even think I know that.
And it was recorded at Muscle Shoals Studio.
Okay.
And apparently Muscle Shoals Studio is like a magical place. I forget what album the
There's a
Stones did
documentary
there.
about that.
Well,
Yes.
Leonard Skinner recorded there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Stones did too. There was
I know.
one studio at Muscle
Yeah.
Shoals that people thought was just
Magic.
magic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's got the Muscle Shoals horn section in there. Dwayne Allman's guitar is incredible. I highly recommend it. It's about 12, 13 minutes long.
That's great.
Loan Me a Dime.
You like a good song that breathes, don't you?
I do.
I love it. That's great. 2 of your songs takes up 24 minutes on a playlist. You could not program a radio station.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, my next one here is a little more recognizable for the masses. Metallica, Master of Puppets.
Oh, great
Oh,
song.
okay.
Just outside,
Finally!
But Green Day, number 1. Metallica has always been my number 2 favorite band.
Yeah.
And Master of Puppets, not only my favorite Metallica album, but just that track alone.
I thought it went Green Day, Nirvana, Metallica, but it goes Green Day, Metallica.
In Nirvana. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But no,
Interchangeable.
but Metallica, Master of Puppets, that song is just epic. I think it just fully encapsulates Metallica's sound, just the speed, the melody, the vocals, the
I would
lyrics.
agree, yeah.
It's like the perfect Metallica song. And just every time I see it live, it's always amazing. The crowd to this day just goes crazy for it. And, I love that
It's
song.
a really good song to run to, by the way. Beats per minute. That's my little feet.
I am shocked that Chasta has not given us this band on her list yet.
Well, I have a
I am
disclaimer
telling
at the
you,
end.
this to me, one of the all-time great songs. I'm at number 2 on my list here.
Yeah.
One of the all-time great songs. Whenever I hear it, I still, to this moment, just pause and turn up the radio or turn up my stereo. Mm-hmm. Sweet Emotion with Aerosmith.
Oh.
I have a whole thing to say about this. It's
Okay.
But why that one in particular?
I just love the beginning. It's got Talk Box in it.
Okay.
I mean, you can't beat that friggin' song. It's got a good groove to it. Love it.
Okay. Well, I'll save my thoughts on Aerosmith for a minute.
Okay.
All right. My second song, The Stones, Moonlight Mile. I love that song. That's a very special song from growing up.
What album is that on?
That is on Sticky Fingers.
Oh, great album.
Yeah, I mean that album from beginning to end, actually.
Yeah.
But early Stones. I just love mix. It was written by Mick and Keith, and it's about being on the road as a musician and the loneliness and or the disconnection that you have with a love specifically. And, being married to a musician, I feel some of that sometimes. So that one makes Jay and I cry as well.
Another live tune for me that's about 9 minutes long.
Love it. We got a long playlist from Tonelli. I love it.
All right, the most divisive song on my list because of who it is, Eric Clapton.
Yeah. That's a tough
I do
one.
like Eric Clapton.
And his drummer who killed his mother.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Jesus, we're on a roll.
This is from the In Concert album. Now, the studio version of Why Does Love Got to Be So Sad, I think sucks.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, on Layla, they got the studio version. I hate it because it doesn't have the energy that the live version does. But it's got to be this 9 some odd plus minute live version on the In Concert album because it's on a couple of other live albums, and they just didn't capture the same vibe.
Yeah.
So Jim Gordon's drums are incredible, and I think it's Clapton's defining moment as a live performance. It's just surreal. How's that for a record?
I can't wait to
sublime.
I can't wait to hear these live cuts. This is so cool.
So yeah, Why Does Love Got to Be So Sad from the In Concert album by Derek and the Dominoes.
See, I almost went with something like this. Like, I love this song, but it has to be done by this person in this way. And I was like, maybe that's too specific. So I got,
Well,
but
that's
it's
what I
Tom
did.
Waits' song by Charlie Starr of Blackberry Smoke. But it's not even recorded anywhere except on YouTube. It's the only place you can find
wow.
it. Yeah, but I didn't pick it because it was too much.
By the way, Tom Waits'
But I like
best
it.
song?
Yeah.
The Piano Has Been Drinking, but that's a different story.
Love it. All right.
I'm going to go with Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Just growing up, Nirvana was like the first big band I
That was
discovered.
a game-changing song.
I mean, just Nevermind in general when that came out. Yeah, game changer for the whole grunge movement. And I remember as 7, 8 years old seeing Nirvana on MTV for the first time. I was like, who are these guys? And I felt like that was like the first band for my generation. And Smells Like Teen Spirit, just that song will always be epic for me. And just, to this day, Kurt Cobain's still a legend. So, Smells Like Teen Spirit was
one of those songs for me that I remember exactly where I was the first time I heard it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember what I was doing. Like, what
were you doing?
Changed. I was actually playing with a Ouija board, oddly enough.
Really?
At my
That's
neighbor's
freaky.
house. It was
Yeah.
freaky. It was like a freaky day. But anyway, maybe that's why it sticks in my brain. I don't know. But great choice.
So my number one song,
Okay.
and I will tell you one of my all-time favorite groups as well. So many songs I could have picked from them. I almost swapped out a song earlier on in the list from this band, the Rolling Stones. Love the fucking Rolling Stones. And there's so many albums, and you brought up Sticky Fingers
Great
was
album.
a great album. But I've got to go from Let It Bleed, Gimme Shelter, with Mary Clayton singing on the background vocals on that. And Paul, I'm going to go full circle here and wrap everything up.
What's that?
I think that one was the album recorded at Muscle Shoals.
I think it was.
So it was.
I think you're right. No, I think you're 100% correct on that.
And this song to me is magic. I never, ever get tired of Gimme Shelter.
That's a tough one to beat. My number one, which was the one that came to me immediately, and there was no questions whatsoever. Janis Joplin, Maybe. This is the song when people are like, "Oh, I don't think Janis can sing very well."
Oh.
I'm like, listen to Maybe. She sings her ass off to this song. You want to talk about live versions? Oh my God. Because when she sang this song live, almost every time she sang it live, she changed the lyrics. Or she would go off on a rant in the middle, and she'd start talking about a guy she just dated or screwed or whatever you want to call it. And it was it's impeccable. I have a lot of her live stuff, but any way else I can get it, I'll take Maybe.
I want to hear that. I want to hear the different versions of the guys she screwed.
Oh, they're hilarious. I mean, she just goes off. It's great.
All right, so to duplicate things and the female vocalist thing, and not necessarily number one because I just went all over my lists, but Gimme Shelter. I don't want to double up, but I mean, Mary Clayton makes that song for me.
She does. Absolutely.
Phenomenal.
And
Rape and murder.
Sounds just like it.
Exactly.
You sound like a pregnant Mary Clayton. Yeah, so she just brings the soul and the way that Mick. Once you heard what made it for me, the isolated vocals when we did that.
Oh, yes.
I never heard Mick's reaction in the background during the song,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it just that made it for me. I was like, wow, that is so cool.
Once
By the
you
way,
hear that, you can't unhear it in the song.
I listened to that song for like 20 years without realizing they were singing rape and murder. I had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, I just wow, that girl can sing.
She really can.
Okay, so
Wrap it up. It's all on you.
Wow, no
Gotta
pressure.
be Green Day. Here we go.
I can't do a top 10 songs without including my favorite band, Green Day. And my favorite song from Green Day has always been Welcome to Paradise. Just when I first fell in love with Dookie, that was the first song that just really stood out to me. And the music video is awesome. It's filmed at Slim's, so especially R.I.P. to Slim. So if you watch the video, you can see the pole right there by Billy Joe playing. So it's such a, for me, just a cool music video. It just sums up Green Day at that time, and just the song itself is just about Billy Joe living on his own for the first time in Oakland. So it's like my hometown band singing about the Bay Area. So just songs upbeat, fast. I learned down the guitar when I could. So it's Welcome to Paradise has always been my favorite.
That's
Green
a
Day
Bay
song.
Area piece of history,
Yeah.
musical history, really. With the video and Slims and all of that.
I'm just kind of curious. Do you know where his first apartment was, the address? Have you ever seen this or visited it?
I saw a documentary. They stayed at the Longview music video. It was filmed at a house in Berkeley. It's over by the gas station in Berkeley, Ashby and oh my God, what's the cross street? Is it Alcatraz? I saw some like unauthorized documentary about them. Some guy.
Some stalker documentary.
This is the house.
By Baby Huey.
But it's the house right over by Chevron in Berkeley. I want to say, what's Telegraph and
And that was his first home.
Oh, that was the house they filmed the music video.
So you don't know the apartment or the house he...
I think he was living, they were squatting at the time. When he wrote Welcome to Paradise, it was about them squatting in West Oakland.
So do you know the address of the
No,
place they
I
were
don't.
squatting? Because
No.
that would really be something if you could visit that.
It would be cool, but yeah, I mean.
Somebody knows.
Yeah.
Let us know. Hit us up and we'll go stalk it. That film was produced by Baby Huey.
My name is Baby.
Okay, well, I have to give my disclaimer because I won't feel right if I don't. I did lose sleep over this. So the bands I just absolutely could not narrow it down with and pick a single song was Aerosmith, Skinner, Jane's Addiction, Bob Seger, and Alice in Chains. Even though Lane Staley did get some love on my list, it's just impossible. I can't put Seasons of Wither and Dream On next to each other and pick one. I
Right.
can't do it. But Dream On, had I done it, Dream On probably would have been the only hit on my list. Actually.
Dream On live version, Boston Strong, Paul.
There you go. Live version. There it is
That
with
is
the
a
choir.
great version.
Yeah.
Dream On, the live version that he did right in front of my eyeballs at Oakland Arena, where his hair's all blown back
Back in the saddle
fan.
again, Last Child. How did you not pick Aerosmith?
Because what you just said, how am I going to pick out of any of those songs? But my favorite, I think, of Aerosmith is Seasons of Wither. Do you guys know that song?
Yeah, I know that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know that song?
No.
Nobody knows any of my songs.
Yeah.
All right, go do your homework, boneheads. Take notes. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen back to this, and I'm going to write all these down, and I'm going to create a playlist.
Bob Seger live, Traveling Man with Beautiful Loser.
Forget it. So good. Yeah. Bob
Rambling,
Seger.
Gambling Man.
Yeah,
Honestly, that's up there.
Turn the page to me is still the ultimate Bob Seger
See,
song.
I that's not on my Bob Seger list. Maybe because I've
to
heard it
me,
too many times.
That's why.
I think that's why
That is bias and prejudice against that song.
It is. But those bands, I felt like if I chose one song, I was cheating on the other songs. It's just too close. I was getting sweaty, and I was like, I'm done. All right, you guys. Well, let us know what you think of our list. We should create a playlist. I think that's a really good idea. We can get to know all of our nuances and all your live versions to know. His playlist would be like 120.
If I'm going to listen to Paul's playlist, give me a weekend for 10 songs.
It's a week. All right. Thanks for joining us on the Bonus Fun Podcast. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.